We all hear stories of motivation and passion that drive many of the world's famous footballers' careers. Each story teaches us the importance of believing in ourselves. One such story is that of Luzy Bronze. The rising star of women's football had some really incredible hurdles, including discrimination, but she never gave up. This is her story. Luzy Bronze was born on the 28th of October 1991 in Berwick-upon-Tweed, England. From a very early age, she had been interested in football, and it was pretty often that she'd play the sport with kids in her neighbourhood. Now, throughout her football career, there is one particular reference point from this era that she continually goes back to. There was a single moment when she realised that her passion for football would go beyond just playing the sport for fun or as a hobby. That point shaped how she took her career and defined the motivation behind it. Every time Lucy would fall down, she would rise back up, owing to a promise she made herself. An incident that changed her life from very early on. It effectively shaped her entire personality. The incident was simple. Lucy used to play with the boys' team, Alnwick Town FC, as a kid. She followed in the footsteps of her elder brother, aspiring to be good at the sport like he was. She was the only girl in an all-male team of 11-year-old boys that would regularly practice football. In fact, she was more than just a member of the team. She was one of the best players in it. She used to give her peers a tough time in keeping up with her, so when she became too good to play with them, she was given a very cold response. Eventually, she started feeling left out. What happened was unfair. Lucy was told that she was not good enough for the team. The team did not allow her to play with the boys, forcing her to look for a female team to play with, which was very uncommon back then. Lucy was, as any kid would be, heartbroken. She told herself that she'd never ever be bad again, and so began her journey of motivation and success. Lucy realised that in order to revive her passion for the sport and do justice to the opportunities she had been denied, she had to move on and pick herself up whenever she fell. She decided to find herself a career in football. We all know how that went, huh? It's sad to be thinking how even little girls at her age would face hate and discrimination just because of their gender. However, Lucy realised early on that it was not her weakness. Anyone else in her place would have backed down and eventually lost hope. But Lucy was resilient. She kept on her pursuit for greatness, and so began her football career. Before we get into that, we need to realise that it is absolutely amazing how a kid, as young as 11 years old, held on to something so closely. That kid remained resilient and knew that no matter what the world said, she would come out on top, who believed in herself and understood that she had the strength to battle everything around her and carve out her future. This is something that defined that kid's entire life. And so, Luzy Bronze gradually developed into what we know her as today, one of the greatest aspiring names in women's football. Lucy was skillful enough to eventually start playing for Sunderland at the under-12 academy level. As she grew older, her career progressed, and her exceptional skill set meant that she was able to join the senior team upon becoming 16. She was also playing for England's junior team in parallel to her club career all this time. In fact, she managed to make it to the FIFA Under-19 Women's Cup, with England managing to secure a runner-up position in the 2009 edition. When Bronze was named to Everton's UEFA Women's Champions League team in September 2010, it was made public that she had signed a contract with the club. She made her Everton debut in a 0-0 tie with MTK in Hungary, although she spent the rest of 2010 playing for Sunderland. For the 2011 FA WSL season, Bronze, then 19 years old, participated in 6 games for Everton. Her performance at Everton was exceptional, and the only way for Bronze there on out was upwards. After Natasha Dowie alongside Farrah Williams, who had done the same thing a few days previously, Bronze signed with Everton's regional rivals Liverpool in November 2012. The Liverpool team that bagged the FA WSL title in 2013, as well as 2014, included Bronze. She started as a defender in 13 of the 14 games she participated in throughout the 2013 FA WSL season. She contributed to the team's 4-1 victory over Birmingham City by scoring a goal. Further glory came when the PFA Women's Players Player of the Year award went to Bronze in 2014. She left Liverpool after winning her second league championship and joined Manchester City. Manchester City had its first success in qualifying for the UEFA Women's Champions League because of Bronze's 2 goals. even though she was playing at fullback during her debut season with the club. This eventually helped City finish second in the league. She also contributed to Manchester City winning the FA WSL Cup for the second time in 3 years in 2016 by scoring the game-winning goal in the 105th minute during extra time in the final. Bronze won the PFA Women's Player of the Year award for the second consecutive year on April 23, 2017. After enjoying such a distinguished status at Manchester City, every female football team wanted Bronze in their club. Her demands skyrocketed and she eventually accepted an offer. Bronze and Olympique Lyonnais agreed to a 3-year contract in August 2017. During Lyon's run to the UEFA Women's Champions League final in 2017-18, Bronze made 8 appearances and scored twice. She participated in the UEFA Women's Champions League championship game and assisted Lyon in taking home the trophy. For the Lyon in all competitions in the 2018-19 season, Bronze completed 29 appearances and earned 2 goals. Of course, she was skyrocketing in her popularity too, realizing that her determination for all these years was finally paying off. In 2019, Lyon defeated Paris Saint-Germain to win the Trophée des Champions, the first new trophy in history. After her contract expired nearing the transfer window, Bronze announced that she'd be departing Lyon. In her time spent with the club, she had already won 9 titles. Bronze returned to Manchester City, citing a 2-year contract on September 8, 2020. She was declared the recipient of the Best FIFA Women's Player Award on December 17, 2020, after winning a triple with Olympique Lyonnais, and also for her efforts in the competitions. She was the first defender and the first English football player to get this honour. Of course, she had already managed to earn herself quite the name during her 2 separate tenures at Manchester City, so it was finally time for her to move ahead. Just now, in June, she has announced her transfer to FC Barcelona. This should be another boost to the aspiring legend's career. All this time, Bronze has also been an active participant in the English national women's team as a member of the senior squad. From her debut in 2013, through her appearances in the 2015 FIFA Women's Cup, all the way to her score in the 3-0 FIFA quarter-finals against Norway in 2019, Bronze has been an exceptional asset for English football. But it is hard still to imagine that this journey began years ago in the heart of an 11-year-old girl who promised herself never to allow people to think she was bad at football. A kindling passion turned into a blazing flame, lighting the world of women's football. This really tells us an important lesson. Never let the world hold you back. Did Luzy Bronze's story inspire you? Let us know in the comments. Also, remember to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell icon to be instantly notified of more amazing videos. Thank you for watching.